Backstreet Boys, Papa. How does tourism improve property prices? We're going to unpack tourism, our city, the last 12 months, and how it's influenced property prices and why. Stay tuned. Backstreet Boys, Baba.
You went to the Backstreet Boys on the weekend. Had a busy weekend, didn't you?
Yeah, don't tell anyone that I went to Backstreet Boys because it's emasculating.
Well, you had a VIP offer, so you couldn't turn it down.
We did got free tickets from the Backstreet Boys. I do have to say.
Yeah.
And how can you say no?
That's it. But you said it was a great concert.
You know what? And they brought today's conversation on because these going through that stadium, it is just incredible what an amazing city we've created. So I took a train in, took a train out. I was talking to the guy, one of the train guys on the side of the track. Those trains are moving 50,000 people in 90 minutes. 50,000 people in 90 minutes they'll go through. So I was just like in awe of just the way that whole place runs. And I've got to say, when I was doing some research this morning, improved infrastructure as tourism increases. So when you see stuff like that, you think to yourself, okay, how's that better for property? But the roads, parks, restaurants, people, it drives up those real estate prices. If you look at that precinct, and it's just a heaving precinct. It's just everything around it flourishes. It's like the ultimate plant getting watered. So that helps property prices. So it's just amazing, this city that they're in last night. That was an example of it, but there's more.
There is more, and we've kind of got 4 columns to go through, and whichever way you go through them, they make sense because, as I said, it's like that self-watering plant. Each part helps the next part, and that's what creates this sort of awesome setup. But I was having a read as well. The 4th largest export for Australia is tourism, and you were saying on the weekend, I think there was 3 concerts all going at the same time: Backstreet Boys, an Asian pop star, and Harry Styles.
Jay-Z, J-Z-H-O-U, Asian pop star.
And Harry Styles. There was just so many people out, combined with Pride Month, combined with City Saturday night hustle and bustle. There was a lot of moving parts going on last night in Sydney.
If you haven't noticed, since COVID, this is the most heaving city of Sydney has been, and it brings light to why people like to live in the city. It was very sexy to go for a sea change and a tree change. Very attractive, but is that going to be sustainable in the future when our city performs like it's performed this summer? You think to yourself, like, if I was in country New South Wales and I wanted to see the Backstreet Boys, that just amuses me just saying that. But anything, whether it's opera, concert stuff, that's that beauty of that city that we have.
It's true. And you were saying for thousands of years, you watch on the way humans have moved, it's all been centralizing. Then it changed.
It is interesting. We have spent thousands of years in our civilization centralizing to cities. Rome, all those sort of places. Like, it's just what we have always done as a society, and probably just the last 2 or 3 years. And the question, the thing that I can't help but think is that sustainable? When I see our city put on an amazing summer that we've put on, the way Pride was put on, the way there was that movie that's filmed with where they shut down the bridge, and you just think, no, but you just think to yourself, like, how can you possibly not want to be part of it? And is it sustainable that people are going to? Well, I think I can definitely say the decentralising has slowed down, or maybe even stopped. And I think I may even be calling it early, but I think people are starting to go, you know what? We gave the sea change, tree change a go. Don't forget, I've talked about infrastructure before. Infrastructure is also hospitals, medical, imaging, scanning, all that sort of stuff that's available in the big smoke.
Yeah. Luke's got some really good comments here. Is regional gone? Are we back to normal? Governments want people in the city. All roads lead to Rome, and best city on the earth, Sydney. Sydney has been pretty special lately. It's been pretty special. And
it just seems like it doesn't seem like it's struggling doing it either. It seems like it's doing it in its stride, Sydney, this summer. Just operationally to shut down a bridge and it's almost, by doing it twice, it's almost like they're showing off. Like logistically, I've got a good family member, very senior in the RTA, Roads RMS. And I always hear about the operations of what they're conducting from the police command centre and all different things that they do. And it's a pretty incredible ecosystem that how this city runs, and what a show.
Yeah, so that's I guess the increase in demand. We've touched on the infrastructure, the economic growth side of things. I think we've really started to see things bounce back. Tourism obviously helps to stimulate that economic growth, and it does follow through, creates jobs, helps the local businesses. People got money to spend, and I think that helps contribute towards a healthier sort of real estate market, people transacting, and it's more balanced.
Yeah, I had my daughter's musical last night, and talking to a lot of guys in their businesses, it seems like it was a good summer. It seems like jobs are a bit more readily available. That was it. That was the one tone across probably 10 different guys in 10 different businesses that I was speaking to. They were saying, jobs are easier to get staff, to get staff. So that sort of helps. So we've touched on economic growth, which we've touched on improved infrastructure. The other thing that I love is perception of value.
I think this is massive.
This is huge.
Yeah.
All that glistens is gold. Maybe it's the opposite. Not gold, is gold. But when you look at Sydney on a shopping list, internationally, climatically, with health, with education, with culture, with sun, with just everything.
So much to offer, yeah.
It's just there's so much theatre of goodness in this city. It's almost, how can you not like it? I could imagine coming to Sydney and there were some of these actors and stuff coming to Sydney, and you look around and you think to yourself, damn, this place is special. So on that, just to expand on that, some of my notes here are popular when it's popular for tourists, and it's desirable because of its natural beauty and cultural attractions, and these amenities. The perception of value can lead to higher prices. So that's where people are just going, this is so good, and that that's where it all starts. That perception of value, whether it's with fashion or with music, or it's a leading city. So how can that not help with property prices?
Do you know what, as well? I was having a look. Domestic travel for Sydney is never been higher. So many domestic people coming in and staying. The average stay is 3 days, 3 nights.
Is it?
Think about what you can see in 3 nights in Sydney. I was thinking about that just before we came on air. You can be in the east on the beach. You can be in the north on the beach. You can get out into the Blue Mountains, 2 hours away. You can go Central Coast. You can.
Yeah.
There's so much to see. You know, if you want sea, if you want city, if you want, bush, or
Well, your auntie's been with you for 2 weeks, so what a perfect example of it. She must be freaking out about this city.
freaking out about going home.
Yeah. What a sign. Perception. How good is that? You know, that perception with real estate price, like it's got to reflect well. Increased demand as well. Short-term rentals, vacation homes, Airbnbs, all of these things can help with property prices as well and spill over to our real estate market. All in all, Billy, it's a pretty damn good, compelling story for Sydney City.
It's pretty exciting. I think the government have done an amazing job. Whoever your preference is, I know it's election time's coming up, but I think we can all agree that the last few months have been like a look back into the past of how we remember city life.
Well, and we really have been. I won't say starved, or maybe starved, but this cultural richness that we've gone through in this summer. It's been years. The kids' musical I went to last night for school. I think they said 3 or 4 years we hadn't been sitting there together, and I've done 14 years with my daughter, my 24-year-old, and now my 17-year-old. This will be the 14th year because there's prep, there's K, and then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, year 12. So we've been to a lot of musicals. It was very sad that it was the last one. But point is, there was a good chunk these kids missed out, and I think everyone missed out. For everything come, what our city means to us, or what it does for us. We've been starved by it for a long time.
It's interesting, and I think we're now on the verge of starting to see things, curve back up a tad on the property side of things. There's a lot of good news to report as well.
Yeah, even on the train, I was on the train on the way home when they were getting 50,000 people in 90 minutes out of Homebush Stadium, and it was the most packed train I'd ever been in my life. And it seems like I was sort of counting the masks. There weren't a lot of masks, so I think it's behind us. I think everyone's pretty confident that we're back to normal officially.
Yeah, it's interesting that. It does catch my eye as well.
Now, Billy, what I want to say, and what everyone to have a think about, is this and where I'm going with all of this, is this centralisation of cities that's been done for thousands of years, how much it helps having an electric city in our real estate prices and in our economy. I've got to relate it back to property growth, and I've got to relate it back to negative growth. And we unfortunately have seen negative growth in our areas of property in the last year. I find it the strangest thing that I'm talking to people in other parts of Sydney and other parts of regional New South Wales, and they have still got positive growth for the last 12 months. When I talk to those real estate agents and ask them how it is possibly happening, they all say to me, money is coming from Sydney and they got cash and they don't want a big loan, or they want no loan, and they're bringing jobs to these regional parts. I think it's fantastic for regional, but I do think the music's over. I looked at Byron Bay property prices which has been, Byron Bay has been a too big buzzword. It's been nuts. and now Byron Bay I've seen negative growth, and I was really shocked because it's been the poster boy for a sea change and tree change the last 3 or 4 years. So it's changed, guys. It's changed. It's happening. I think we've been punished in the last year with property prices, and I reckon now with this electric city that we got, I think Sydney's the new pin-up boy.
Yeah, and you only need to look at the rentals. I think they speak volumes as well. People that are not buying, but they're going to rent first in this new move they're taking on. The rentals are it's even stunning the real estate agents. It's berserk what some of these rentals are going for.
Backstreet Boys. Baba.
That's it. That's the show.
Hey, before I go, can I just say how the Backstreet Boys went?
Yeah, you can tell us.
I was like, but you know what? And for someone who's not a fan, like, it is so beautiful watching people practice their art. Like, these guys, 30 years together in front of 40,000 people. What a friggin' show! And no wonder, no matter what artist you are, Snoop Doggy Dogg, like whatever, like, these guys are super talented. And I do have to say, even if you don't like these guys, these artists around the world supporting them, it was just a really cool night. So Lisa and I just went out by ourselves, and what a cool thing to do. So yeah, keep doing that, keep supporting these artists, even if your wife's a fan and you're not. It's still cool to do. It's still cool.
It's good. It's just a good night out, really.
It was 10 out of 10. It was 10. Even the food, like when you walk around, you have all the dodgy food, like all the stalls, the hot dog places. It felt a little bit like the Easter show out there.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
But that is our electric city. If you haven't noticed or been out lately into the CBD and around, it is absolutely heaving, and we should be really proud of it. We should support it. And it's definitely going to help with our property prices when you look at what's happening.
That's it. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Billy Bob. See everyone. Take care. Have a great week.